Good day, my koala crew and my fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Corner of Remnant. I'm joined by co-host Emperial Dawn.
Hi.
And my voice is crackling. I just had a drink, for heaven's sakes. And welcome back.
It's a tired morning for you.
Yeah, I haven't had my coffee this morning yet. But yes, hi Kaylin, hey Corey, who are in the chat, and everyone who may be watching on YouTube as well. Yes, so today we are discussing all the RWBY news that came out of RTX, including the Volume 8 teaser trailer. If you haven't watched that, it is, I believe it's been posted on Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel now.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And if I remember, I'll try and put a link in the description of the YouTube video as well. And I did do a reaction to it as well with Shinoob too, so that's on the channel if you wanted to check it out, and we sort of discussed our sort of first thoughts after watching it too. But yeah, that's what we're discussing today. We were hoping to do a podcast to discuss the Before the Dawn book and the Fairy Tales of Remnant book. We haven't quite finished reading both books. Well, Dawn finished reading Before the Dawn, but hasn't read the Fairy Tale book, and I haven't finished reading Before the Dawn, and I've half read the Fairy Tale book, so. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and read them. They're not that long. It's just, you know, finding the time with everything at the moment, so.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I recently got back into the art stuff, so it's like, you know, like that's where I want to spend my spare time, you know. But to be fair, in the time when I wasn't drawing, I was doing a lot of reading. I ordered a bunch of books recently. It's just one of those things where unfortunately, you know, just another thing came up. But hopefully we'll get to them. I'm currently finishing something else. Then when I finish that, which I'm almost done, then I'll get into the fairy tales, and that should only take like maybe a day or two. I only read for like an hour at a time most sessions, but
it didn't take me long to get halfway through it. So and it's not a hard read actually. They're quite easy to read. Yeah, I was thinking maybe in 2 weeks' time. I thought it would probably be good timing because in 2 weeks we could do the books, and then 2 weeks from then we may have the trailer because it'll be like the week before or 2 weeks before the actual series comes out. But yeah,
I guess it's a point. I guess I didn't even think about that. I guess we will probably get another trailer. I kind of assumed the teaser would kind of just be it.
Yeah.
Volume, because kind of like it's not the normal RTX teaser.
No.
But it's also enough to where it could be considered a trailer.
Well, it's only 40 seconds long, so I don't think so. Because the trailer's usually around the same length of the intros, about a minute and a half.
I mean, that's true, but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
We'll find out.
I could see it going.
I definitely think
just because it was so close to the release.
Yeah.
That just might be it.
Might be. I'm hoping there'll be a longer trailer. Which will be released like the week before or something. But I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that's fair. Just wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, I just realised I should have zoomed my camera in a bit more. I always forget to do that because I sit far away when I'm doing my streams. Here you go. I'll just sit closer. That works. Huzzah. Just adjusting our cameras. So yeah, RTX from home. We both weren't able to watch the RWBY panel thing, unfortunately, because of time zones. I think it was like 4 AM or something our time on a weekday. Like in the past, I've tried to watch them live, usually on a Saturday morning, and that's not so bad. But because I've got to work and everything, I kind of couldn't stay up or get up early to watch it at 4 AM on a weekday. But yeah, I posted a lot of the news in my Discord server, so I've got to use that as reference, and Don's got also a list of all the news as well. I've changed my server because I was posting stuff. Where's my RWBY news chat? There it is. Yeah, so we'll go over all the everything, all the news. Probably we'll go through all the news and then we'll discuss the teaser, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. So did you want to go first or me go first?
Yeah, no, you go by all means. Go by all means.
Coolio. So one thing we got news about was the birthdays. So we now know the 4 girls' actual birth dates, which is really neat. Just a nice little thing to know. We always knew Ruby's from Ruby Chibi because her birthday's on Halloween. But we also found out that Weiss's is on the 15th of May, Blake's on the 19th of January, and Yang's on the 28th of July. Yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's all just interesting, cute little stuff. Cool that Blake's the oldest. I think that makes a lot of sense. It always will be Blake or Yang. Yang being in July again. Just that's a cute little nod to the song.
Yes.
I Burn, and I'm not sure what significance necessarily, apart from maybe like star signs to match their personalities. I guess maybe it was. I think some people have said matches.
Okay, I haven't really looked too much into that side of things. Yeah.
No. But I mean, this is just something that I'm sure Eddie just went out of his way to kind of just like lock in dates just because people always ask about it. And that's something I've learned. That's something I've learned so much this past year is how much I really enjoy Eddie and him on Twitter and his social media, and just how much he just is trying to kind of get kind of do everything he can to kind of please the fans and stuff.
Yes,
I think Eddie's really trying to always do that, but he also doesn't take shit from people, which I always respect. That's always good.
Yeah, so we had that. The other thing I don't have here, because I think it's further down, was about semblances. So we found out that Watts doesn't know his semblance, or hasn't unlocked his semblance, and that Ironwood's is metal, or heavy metal, is it? Heavy? Or is it just metal?
But it's METTLE.
Basically, it's all about... oh, God, I had it written here somewhere.
Okay, so this caused a bit of upstir when it was announced, because a lot of people thought it was bullshit, or didn't think it was an actual semblance. It was just something they said at the time, and or it's too simple or too basic. I quite like it. It's just the idea that basically he can call on his aura to basically. So Yang can call upon an aura, for example, to overcome physical obstacles.
Yes.
In a sense, whereas Ironwood's is similar, except it's more mental hurdles.
Yeah, I just got up Catadan's tweet about it. Catadan's amazing. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, because he always retweets all the news as well from RWBY. So he said, Watts has no semblance, has martial arts training, but focused on his tech and brain, not his powers, which makes sense. Ironwood has a passive semblance, metal. It's spelled as regular metal, but yeah.
I've seen it spelled both ways.
Yeah. Iron resolve to push through limits, kind of like a hyper focus. Yeah.
So basically, it's like in a sense that he can ignore. It's almost like he can ignore outer influences, kind of thing, to push through, and complete tasks or whatever interpretation you have of it.
Like that drive for him to freeze when it got trapped, in hard light dust.
Okay, well, that's also been confirmed that was just a Miles stuff up.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't his semblance, because his aura had already been broken.
Oh, well, true, actually, that's a good point. Yeah.
So
that was just his drive.
Miles said that on the panel, but then Eddie came out and said, well, that was just a bad example from Miles.
That's a good point.
It's a good example, but that wasn't an actual, literal example, kind of thing.
I guess it's more about his mood and his drive and all of that.
So it's... Whereas, say, like, Hazel's semblance would allow him to just outright ignore pain. Yeah. Ironwood's could have a similar effect, but only in that particular instance if his willpower... It's almost like he can manifest a unique bunch of different semblances depending on the situation. In a sense, it's an interesting one.
It's interesting.
For sure, but I think some people take it too much at face value and underestimate, and just... Yeah, I think it's quite...
The passive semblances can be interesting because they can have different ways of affecting the person. A bit like with crows being, of course, bad luck, and that's a passive semblance. So they can affect things in different ways rather than being solely more combat focused. So.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because the combat focused ones mainly have just one purpose, whereas the passive ones can have multiple different purposes and effects.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
It's one of those things we don't still quite know if passive semblances work without aura or not.
Yeah, that's
one little grey area I can't quite think if we know the certain answer to at this point. Like, does Crow's not work if he's out of aura? Does it with Ironwood's? I assume we know that Ironwood doesn't. But yeah, I guess that's a bit of a grey area.
It's a bit grey area. We don't know enough about passive semblances, really, and it's a bit hard to see them in play because of the way they are as well. So,
but I mean, it's like not everyone is going to have you know, an incredible, amazing semblance or anything like that. You know, it's a
something
world
very
where
subtle.
you know, there are millions of people in this world, you know, and all of them have power, whether they realize it or not, whether they end up finding it or not, and you know, whether or not that's going to be a good one or a bad one is just.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, never really know. And again, Ironwood isn't someone that, again, if Ironwood, it always came, Ironwood had this incredible, amazing semblance. They're kind of like, oh, why did it take us this long to see it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
So, or you know, like, again, Roman and Watts are quite similar in the sense, you know, they have their skills, they have what they're good at, so they just never felt the need to kind of find it. Whereas, like, Roman probably, you know, tried, couldn't find it. It's like, I've done, you know, I have better skills that elsewhere.
Exactly.
Whereas Watts more relies on, his technology and all this other stuff, you know, to rely upon. So.
Yeah, semblances are interesting because there could be ones that they find out very early on in your life what it is, and then other times just never find out. But they need specific circumstances to manifest, like with John's, for example. So, yeah. And passive ones even more so, because it will be a bit difficult to determine whether that is your actual semblance or not, too. Like with Crows, for example, the bad luck just happening, it could just be bad luck, not necessarily a semblance.
Yeah, and that's the thing, there'll be no way to particularly find out, you know, unless you know, Atlas.
Exactly, Jason. That's what I was just saying. Welcome in, by the way. Yeah, it's sometimes it's a bit difficult than one that's a bit more obvious. So yeah, like Ruby's, for example, bursting the rose petals. That's kind of obvious happening. But yeah, for something a bit more passive. Yeah. But yes, that was interesting to find out about that anyway. It's always nice to get little tidbits of information like that. Like, because with it being RTX Home, you didn't have the Q&A questions and such like they usually would do at the end of the panel. So it's nice to get these little bits of information because they're the ones we usually find out in the Q&As. Little bits and pieces, so yeah. So it's nice to find out those little tidbits of information which may not have been able to be shown in the show yet. Yeah, so... Yeah, the next thing I had on my list was figurines. So they announced there's going to be some Nendoroid figurines of the 4 girls in their original outfits, and they are adorable. I love Nendoroid figurines because they're just so detailed and they're so cute, and I'm really excited, and I'm hoping my local store will be getting it in. They're going to let me know. But yeah, it's because just the image of the Ruby one, and she's adorable.
Yeah, and it's something I know people Ruby fans have been asking for a very long time. For this collaboration to happen, and yeah, it was announced that they were working with Good Smile, I think, at RTX last year. So I think a lot of people were hoping it was coming, and it has, and I'm sure. And I believe they've announced both the Nedroids and the pop-up figures.
Yes.
All 4.
All 4.
At first, when they first announced Ruby, I think most people speculated that, you know, oh well, you know, if we buy enough, you know, if enough of those get sold, then they'll make another one. But it seems like they will have the full set available regardless. They're just going to be releasing them, every now and then. Yes, people, and again, like, it's one of those things where I never got some of the allure for some of these figures, but I mean, they're quite worth the value. They're quite cheap considering, you know, other figures say Rooster Teeth have sold. Compared to these, you know, these are some of the best figures they have, but they're not up there in terms of more expensive ones.
Exactly.
So they definitely seem very good value for money.
More affordable than having to spend several $100s on a figurine. So, and the pop-up parade ones do look really good. I really like the detail. We just have the images of Ruby and Weiss at the moment, but they look really good. So I'm excited for those, as well as, of course, the Nendoroids. I think are going to be adorable. I know a lot of people saying it's more figurines than their original outfits. Yeah, I get that. It would have been nice to get some more figurines with their newest outfits. Yes, Joji, I am. I just replied to your comment in Discord, actually. Welcome in.
My thing about that is that they wouldn't keep doing it if people didn't buy them.
Yeah.
So clearly they're selling. Clearly they make money. So clearly people want, you know, clearly the casual fan just wants all these original stuff. You know, like, and I don't think it's fair to criticize them for that.
No.
You know?
Well, I'm hoping we might get some more, but we never know.
It'd be nice to get some, you know, like, other outfits, other RWBY characters, and all that kind of stuff. But it's also, you know, then you know that's the risk, you know, like especially from someone who, you know, works with RWBY designs a lot and draws the RWBY designs and draws the main characters and draws the minor characters. Guess what? The minor characters in the major characters in their original outfits, no matter how good the quality art, always does better statistically.
Yep.
It's just how it is, you know. It's like the Team RWBY girls, Cinder and Neo.
Yep.
Those three, those six,
all
do really well, no matter how you advertise them. Seemingly, at least on average.
I guess it's more. It's just that's the original designs. Well, with the Nendoroid figures do really well. They might actually bring some out with the later outfits. I could see them doing it with the Nendoroids, absolutely. Pop-up figures, probably not. Probably not the pop-up parade ones. I think they'll just be the original outfits, but the Nendoroids, I could definitely see them doing them. A bit like what they did with the vinyl ones. I've got them here, my bookshelf. They did them with the different outfits and different sort of colour variants and stuff. So, yeah, I could see them doing it with the Nendoroid figures. Definitely.
I guess this also explains why the McFarlane deal fell through, because they probably went to work with Good Smile. That's why we only got the volume for RWBY. That's why the Crow figure was never actually released. It was it was displayed but never got actually released, because they cut that deal to go work for Good Smile.
Good Smile.
Which again, considering the quality, I don't blame them.
Yeah, and the worldwide as well. Like my local store, comic book store, has a deal with them.
You have to find your own distributor for them. You can't just buy them off the site. You have to go to the site, see what local stores will ship them in, and then so it's a bit of a hurdle. But
at least I'm able to get it locally rather than having to buy it from a US website.
That's also true. The shipping goes
and the shipping and all of that. Yeah.
The figures look awesome. I'm definitely looking to get the RWBY pop-up. They are in pre-order and only for a limited time, so if you do want to pick one up, I do suggest probably going to do that soon.
Yes.
They do have a limited pre-order.
Yeah.
So I know I'll definitely be looking to probably get, at this point, the pop-up RWBY, and I'll probably get the Weiss Nendoroid, because I've gotten every other, like, chibi Weiss.
Yeah. I definitely want to get all 4 girls as the Nendoroids. At this stage, I'm not too sure about the pop-up parade ones. I'm definitely getting the RWBY one, and I know Kaylee's getting the Weiss one. I'm just fine. I was thinking we might go halves in the 4 of them, but yeah. If they
RWBY is very good in the early stages of slice of life, but it doesn't go beyond that. So just be wary of that if you're going into it. That it doesn't. It has a lot of tonal shifts as the show changes. So if you're looking for a slice of life constantly, then maybe not the right thing.
Yeah, that's the thing with RWBY. Like, it starts with them at school, but then it goes beyond the school. So it
tells you a much larger story.
Yes.
But the first 3 volumes is very slice of life and very enjoyable. You know, that's so yeah. But I mean, as long as you attach yourself to the characters and enjoy it well enough, then I think it's okay to pull through. And there are definitely some slice of life moments in later volumes for sure.
There are. It's
beyond that, I think.
RWBY sort of has a lot of the definitely typical anime moments in it, but it has taken a different turn from when it was where it started originally.
Yeah, Jason makes a fair point. You know, the original design are the original design.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah.
Change of it, and it's also, and I also like it too, because also those were Monty's designs.
Yes.
As well, which I think is also a nice way to look at it in terms of like why they're the original designs, because those are Monty's. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Plaster those and kind of make those kind of the surface point.
Yeah.
And such. Something also, I don't know if this was on the RTX panel or not. But the question was asked. This is a question that let me just say the question first. That obviously the question was asked, you know, will the models and such of the characters be updated in later volumes to be like more defined? Like more muscles and like Yang or stuff like that, you know, and all that, have them a bit more unique and stuff. And they said they'll be willing to do that for the next outfit changes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that would be a very drastic stylistic change at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Far in. And also, couldn't you look at it in terms of it's a good you don't have to be a muscle bound to be strong.
Yeah.
You can look like that and still be strong.
Yes.
I like that symbolism.
I like it too. Yeah.
I personally like that. You know, it's like, oh, give young muscles. And it's like, I mean, sure, but I'm also not losing my mind about it because, like you are. But yeah. There's a lot of fixing opinions like that out there that I personally not a fan of, which I know is weird considering I do that for art. But it's all about how you intentions and how you claim it. You know, I'm never claiming to fix my redesigns or anything like that. It's just, this will be fun, it's cool. But the second you say fixed, or this is an improvement, that's
I don't like that either.
That's a big disrespect to the original designers.
Absolutely. Yep.
And all that other stuff.
Because at the end of the day, it's their show and it's their story and it's their designs. So we don't have the right to fix their story or fix their designs. We can definitely have an opinion on it, absolutely, and do some like, I think it'll look really cool like this. But
I want to draw Blake, black or dark skin, like
dark skin,
cool, that's fine. But the second you go on and say, this will fix, or again, just that word fix. That's when I feel like, you're not wrong, but I still think you're also stepping over a line at the same time. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that opinion, but again, as soon as it's beyond an opinion, that's when it's questionable.
Exactly.
To a degree.
Yeah. We also had a few other things announced as well. They're bringing out geeky tickies of the 4 girls, which is hilarious. I think that's great.
And they go there and they're in their current outfits.
They're in the current outfits as well. Yep, they are. Yep. I think they look really cool. I'm probably not going to buy them, but I think they're neat. The coffee was an interesting one. So they brought out King's Coast Coffee Co. And people saying it's a lost opportunity that could have had team coffee on it. I get that.
But again, if you did that, half people wouldn't recognise who that is.
That is also a good point because team coffee aren't the main place.
Most casual fans have no idea. They might remember them from Volume 2 and 3, but would they really know? Again, it's one of those things where it wouldn't surprise me if that's something they wanted to do, but again, like the coffee company themselves are like, no, we want RWBY,
natural RWBY,
stuff,
and
again, that's nothing crazy.
It's a bit like the original outfits too. So they're sort of like, it's what RWBY is known as to sort of wider sort of populace.
I mean, it's rather than the Mistral theming and stuff. They kind of did do a little in-universe theming. Again, this is just something that Achievement Hunter have done this before. This isn't new for Rooster Teeth to work, I think, work with the same company. And also, tons of other YouTubers have done this exact same thing.
Yep.
They've just made their own coffee brand. And it's like G Fuel, you can get your own G Fuel, flavor and all that kind of stuff. It's just a promotional thing to work alongside content creators or companies like Rooster Teeth. So
exactly.
It's cool. Again, I'm not a coffee drinker. It's a cool thing.
It's a cool thing. Same.
Cool.
Yeah. And Jay said Rooster Teeth released an Achievement Hunter copy with that company last year, so that makes sense. Yep. The other thing, of course, was the RWBY Combat Ready board games. They're bringing out a Jennifer expansion pack, which is really neat. I'm excited for that. I love that board game, so I'll definitely be getting the expansion pack. Surprised they didn't do it earlier, actually, but it's good. I'm glad they're still doing things with the board game. They're not just shelved it and never touching it again. So it's nice that they're bringing out new stuff for it. I noticed they still have a lot of the expansion packs and bits and pieces on the store still as well. Yep, so you can still buy the game from the Rooster Teeth store if you wanted to. That was just about the birthdays. We had the poster image, or what we believe is the poster, which is really cool. I really like it. The only thing, of course, it's just the 4 girls, a bit like our Volume 7 poster was as well. There's no other characters, which we saw more in 4, 5, and 6. I still really like the designs though. I think that's really good. Crescent Rose is kind of hidden in the poster, which I thought was interesting because normally Crescent Rose is very much in your face in the posters. It's hidden more behind the other girls. But yeah, I really like the poster image. If it comes out on the store, I'll definitely buy it. But we never got a Volume 7 poster, so my Volume 6 one is here, still fell down. It was on the wall behind me.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It could just be as simple as it's just a cutting cost thing. Do we need to do a really extravagant, crazy poster? Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know why they've done it this way, but I don't really same thing. Okay, I was like, okay, I don't really have an opinion either or. If it's really cool.
I think it looks cool. Yeah,
I like the poster. That's fine.
I like the designs. I love all 4 girls on it. I've got it as my lock screen. Oh, because I've got stuff all over my lock screen right now. Let me just clear all that out. There you go. I got it on my lock screen.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, I like it. It's still cool. And we'll see whether or not it actually comes out as a poster. That'll be interesting. The other thing we had was, oh yeah, there's an upcoming RWBY Manga Anthology. I'll translation of that. And it was just more about the books and everything as well.
Yeah, so like how we got the RWBY, Weiss, Blake and Yang like fan collaborative manga anthologies a few years back, we are getting a Team Juniper book.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah, so that'll be cool. That'll be coming out, I think, sometime mid next year.
Yeah.
And I have the Weiss one just over there, and I thought it was a cool.
I love all of them. I've got all of them, and the anthology as well. But we haven't mentioned the fairy tale book as well, which is amazing. I love all the books they're bringing out. I love all the extra stuff because it's just nice to have, especially in between seasons, so you can get your RWBY fix whilst we're still waiting for the next volume to come out. But it's also just another sort of way they can get RWBY out there to everyone. And I highly recommend the books.
They've been really good with that this season. You know, because they've had the 8-episode, I forgot what it was called, but the Talk Ruby to Me, where it's like it was just Kerry talking to the producers and animators and all 100 other different roles and stuff for 8 episodes. You know, that ran for a few weeks. And you had the Grim campaign, which has been running, which I've absolutely love the Grim campaign. I 100% suggest.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, I'm afraid, but I really want to.
It's just one of those things where this year, of all the horrible things that have been going on this year, for Rooster Teeth as well as the rest of the goddamn world, to see so many personalities, Rooster Teeth have just put everyone on screen and kind of just given everyone a chance to shine. Yeah. Like Kerry has been on screen more than ever this year. Granted, he's been at the company for 10 years, but just seeing him, he's just this goofball and he's so funny. To kind of meet and learn about Laura, who's the lead producer of the show. Yeah. She's a quiet little bean, but she's amazing. Big one is Chris, the lead sound designer, and has been the lead sound designer for RWBY for the longest time, and he's just a hoot. Just seeing all these new personalities and stuff, seeing Melanie in videos, just the lead animator of RWBY, and just seeing all these other really awesome people.
It's nice to see people behind scenes that we normally don't get to see when it comes to RWBY content.
Really learn to meet these people and appreciate them. I think it's been one of the few benefits of this year and the whole working from home thing. Has definitely worked out really well, I think, in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of RWBY content out there besides just the shows, so definitely recommend checking it all out. And it's also good to follow the official RWBY on Twitter as well, because they post a lot of things. Just be wary when the season starts, because they quite often will post GIFs for the latest episode. So just be wary of that. But it's a good one to follow because they share a lot of things. They also share a lot of fan art and other fan-made projects RWBY related as well. So, that was the pop-up Weiss figure. We already talked about that. Oh yeah, there's a new RWBY game on the way, which we don't know much about at all. As well. So it's from Way Forward, and it's by the Arc System Works, which is part of the RWBY. Forgotten what it's called.
Blaze Blue, I think.
I thought it was more the one which is the Amity Arena. That's it. I had a mind blank and I couldn't think of it for a second. Pretty sure it's still. Oh, maybe not. I thought it was.
Arc System is the fighting.
Oh, is it the fighting game? Oh, okay. Yeah. I just got my wires crossed.
Way Forward, I believe, are the people who made Shantae. I believe.
Oh, okay.
I'm not too familiar with that game, but I know it's a sprite-based platformer thing. And then Arc System is a sprite-based fighting game. Right, yep. So, the more I think about it, it's interesting what we'll actually get, but I think it will be something along the lines of, like a sprite-based game. Something along the lines. I'm not too familiar. Yeah. I thought Arc Systems were like a fighting game company, but
they are.
Yeah, not too sure. Yeah, and that's at least what I remember. I'm not too certain on the details, but it's interesting. It's interesting to cool that that's all will be happening.
Yes.
That this kind of thing is just. Excuse me.
But new game is good. So I'm just also trying to find it. But yeah. So yeah, way forward. So yeah, I've seen a lot of people really hyped about it. So I'm hyped. It was always good new games. RWBY Grammar Eclipse kind of fell on the side, sadly. So it'll be nice to actually see. Oh yeah, here we go. I just brought up Way Forward's Twitter. Oh, their art style is really cute. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they typically do like platforming-esque games. So I'm interested in how that will translate to RWBY. I'm sure they've done other things. I'm not saying it's gonna be a platformer, but
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they come out with for sure. Yeah, it's exciting.
Because like Blaze Blue was a collaborative effort. And Grammar Eclipse is basically a fan project.
Yes.
So this would be like the first kind of proper RWBY game to an extent. So yeah, and it's just cool to see, the RWBY brand do as well as it is doing.
Yeah. And find a lot of crossovers in different games as well. So it's really good. It's exciting times. Yeah. The other thing was they've brought out some new cosplay items, including Yang's jacket. I also brought out some new cosplay hoodies as well. I'm not a huge fan of the cosplay hoodies. I don't know, they just to me seem a bit boring. But yeah, and Yang's jacket, I don't know about that. The quality to me doesn't look good, but then again, I'm just looking at an image and not actually seeing it in person. So yeah. A lot of the new merch to me I haven't really liked that much, but yeah, we'll see what happens when they bring more stuff out. It's just also difficult too now because they don't have the Australian Rooster Teeth store anymore, so you have to buy it all from the US store, and it's so expensive. I know they recently announced, I don't have it written down here, but they did recently announce some new merch, RWBY merch coming through another company. I can't remember what it was called now, but that actually looked pretty cool. So hopefully they also do that a bit more, so it might be more affordable to other people as well when it's through a different company too. And also might mean you might be able to get it locally too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have a major opinion on that kind of stuff. I mean, like I haven't yet bought merch in a while, but I wouldn't necessarily that's down to the quality or anything. It's just a matter of just not interested kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've definitely seen a few things that I've liked and stuff. But yeah. I'm not too sure really.
Yeah, there's a lot of it. Like previously there were new merch, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to buy this. I love it so much. I need to buy it. I don't care how much it is. But then it's comes to more recently where it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, but I don't really, can't justify spending $100 for one t-shirt sort of thing. Whereas previously it wouldn't matter how much it was, I would just bought it because I loved it. So I think to me that's my feel with the merch recently. Like the figurines, for example, I don't care how much they are, I'm buying them. Whereas the new merch is like, yeah, no. But everyone's different. I know there'll be people who love the new merch, and then there'll be others of course who don't. So but hopefully getting closer now to RWBY season starting again, we're going to get some more merch coming through, and yeah, hopefully there will be some things which will be like I have to buy because it's amazing. Yeah, I just found that recently the merch to me has been very bland and just very plain and just not exciting.
Yeah, well, I think Rooster are definitely moving in the direction of the more minimalistic style in terms of their merchandise, just because they had some success with the Achieve brand. Which was their minimalistic kind of stuff that was meant to be like, oh, here we're going to sell merch, but it's not going. But you can wear it in public. It's not going to be super obvious. Yeah. So in that aspect, I think a lot of it works really well.
But there's others who more like they want something like it's just obviously RWBY because they want to show their RWBY love and wear that out in public because they love it, sort of thing. I think RWBY fans might be a bit different to the Achievement fans in that aspect. Because a lot of the original RWBY merch was very in-your-face RWBY, like very bright colours, big designs on the front of the tops and everything, because a lot of the recent merch I noticed that's been very like minimalistic, like just like the RWBY symbol on the front of the t-shirt, then the back's got the design, which I don't like because I wear I live in a cold place, so I'm quite often wearing jackets and things, so you can't see the design on the back because it's covered by a jacket. But that's just me personally, but it's just, yeah, I'm hoping they'll bring out some more of the more colourful, bright designs, like the, what's it called, Yang by Barb, that was just announced today. I quite like some of that looks nice. But yeah, like Jason, I prefer the minimalistic stuff over the other stuff. Yeah, so everyone's different. I'm hoping they bring out a bit more of a mix.
And again, it all goes back to the idea of they wouldn't keep doing it as if people weren't buying it.
Yeah.
So clearly, while it's not appealing to us, clearly it's appealing to someone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hope they bring out a bit more of a variety of designs too, because.
But I think they've also had definitely lulls before. Like,
yeah, they have.
This isn't like the first time, where they have, and they've had some good merch as of late. For sure, just because I know I haven't been out of my way, which personally doesn't mean like I'm just pulling it up myself just so I want to have a look now.
I know, yeah, well, I haven't had a look recently. I sort of looked at it like, oh yeah, I like that, but it just wasn't to the point that I didn't matter how much it was, I had to have it sort of thing. It was just like, yeah, that's kind of cool. That looks alright.
Speaking of obviously like the Australian, like the prices aren't necessarily that insane. Even with the Australia store, there was, they were that they then. It's just now that you just kind of like, I guess the shipping, but
yeah. Us poor Aussies, the exchange rate is really horrible right now, so
it's getting better.
It's getting better slowly. Like, I like some of the new stuff that was announced today.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like I was mentioning before the stream, the long neck, the long sleeve shirt, Yang's isn't robotic when it should be.
Yeah.
Which again I don't see as anything more than a mistake, like a harmless mistake. I know.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I know some people have taken it very to heart and taken it very offensively.
Because she's wearing her new outfit, but yeah, it's showing her right arm, and it's not robotic. Yeah.
But I mean, I love the RTX, the RTX exclusive, the crew neck shirts. I don't know if you can buy them anymore, but they're like the Space Crew RWBY shirts. I quite like those.
I like the design on those.
I like the RWBY Moon shirt. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yes, I didn't mind that one. That one was okay.
And again, like as much as I know some people really hated the split vintage shirts, I also saw some people love those.
I'm not a huge fan of those personally.
I know some people did. Some people really like that stuff.
Yeah. It does just try and display in your AU price. That's also probably why it turns me off a little bit. Like,
sure, but at the same time,
yeah.
Like, the other store, when there was an Australian store, it was actually quite similar.
Yeah.
Like I like the basketball jerseys. I like the basketball jersey and stuff. So there definitely is some cool, stuff there for sure.
Yeah.
The winter and penny shirt as well. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's there, but again, like you said, it's just, I don't think it's as dire as I know some people have made it out to be.
Yeah. I just hope they bring out more stuff.
I think some variety and stuff, some plain stuff and some over the top stuff.
I don't know about the cosplay hoodies. I felt like they could have done a little bit more with them, but yeah, that's also like they're $102. Like, I like the penny one, but it's like, I don't know. I just find like they could have done something a little bit better with those personally. But yeah, I don't know. I do like some of it. It's just, I guess I just like the old style with the very bright designs and such. So I hope they bring out more of those.
Okay, fair enough.
Some of the new tops in the Yang by Barb design actually do look quite nice.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah,
they already announced today.
Yeah, I did think some of those were pretty cool.
Yeah, I did like some of those.
Okay. Anything else RTX other than merch? Move on from that.
I think that was the last thing I had in my RWBY news chat on my Discord. Of course, we had the teaser, and yeah. There is the teaser.
You say the Rooster teaser?
I said there is the teaser.
Oh, what's the Rooster teaser?
Rooster teaser. Who knows what the captions were picking up on the stream? Oh no, it did say Rooster teaser. Huh? There you go. Those on YouTube, you can't see the captions. I've just it's a Twitch thing I've got going at the moment. The puns.
God damn it, Bob.
I forgot to mention as well when we were talking about art and stuff. The new Weiss art by Dawn's in the bottom corner there. It's amazing. It's adorable. Yeah. I'll try to put Dawn's latest art on the overlay if I can, so you can see.
Well, there hasn't been too much of that display, but I'm trying.
That's all good. I think it's pretty. I like that one.
So we had the Volume 8 teaser. It was kind of like the main event. That kind of came out of the show.
Yes.
Obviously, we have the Grim Whale coming through, coming in, and then we have like Salem's Throne.
Yes, which appears to be in the whale from what we can see.
Seemingly, I guess you could say maybe there's like the teeth in the background or something. I'm not too
sure. I know. When I was rewatching it, looked like you could sort of see the teeth in the background, and sort of like the environment looks kind of like it's inside the whale, so it would make sense.
Yeah. So one of the theories I remember people speculating was maybe Salem's castle would be a part of the Grim.
Oh yeah.
Or something like that. Seemingly, with this throne being different from a throne in a castle.
Yeah.
It does seem like this is something completely separate. And I guess, you wonder, Hazel, Emerald, and Mercury coming to Alice as well. Still don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
On that. I would assume so. But there's also a lot to get through. But this is going to be, they did announce this is going to definitely be a 14-episode volume this time.
Yep, 14 episodes. So it's going to be the longest one we've probably had in a while. Probably since volume 6. Because volume 6 was quite long.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think... Yeah, because we had 14 in volume 5. Then we were meant to have 14 in volume 6. Then they had to cut it back. And then volume 7, they just had 13.
Yeah.
And now we are going back to 14.
14
which
episodes.
I remember when they announced volume 8 with green lit like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That it was going to be a longer volume. And then volume 9
is going to be a lot shorter.
A bit shorter. Which I know a lot of people... I know it has been confirmed... that like Carrie said, like this volume is going to be different and something they've been very excited for a very long time. So I know some people jump to the conclusion to Stark stuff, which I don't know exactly where that is, other than just blind jumping.
I think people just want Stark stuff, so they're...
But again, it has to be warranted. And, that would mean Raven would probably have to come back in, which is possible. But then, what about where's Ty? And then there's the Crow stuff. And the repercussions of Clover and Ironwood and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't seem like after this we'd just jump into a Stark flashback. It depends on. It's 14 episodes. Who
knows what's gonna happen? I think that might be more of a volume 9 thing, possibly. I think volume 9 is gonna be another sort of travel volume, a bit like volume 4. But yeah, I guess it really depends what, of course, happens in volume 8.
Eddie had alluded to that. We probably won't get too much in Vacuo in the series.
Okay.
He implied that we probably will go there, but we probably won't get as much world building as, say, Mistral or Atlas. And that's kind of what Before the Dawn was kind of meant for.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of build up on that, which does it quite well.
It does.
That's we won't be discussing Before the Dawn or Fairy Tales too much.
Yep.
I just want to mention that that's something that I quite prefer of Before the Dawn preferred After the Fall.
Yeah.
Because after the Fall, I found myself struggling to kind of keep track of where we were, what was happening, etc. Whereas in Before the Dawn, I feel like it's much easier.
It is.
Kind of keep track of everything's happening.
You're finding, not spoiling, but you do find out more about the city and the academy. Whereas in After the Fall, it's more out in the wastelands of Vacuo. So, so I really enjoy both books. I highly recommend them, and they do provide some world building for Vacuo, as well as, of course, for Team Coffee and also Team Sun and other characters.
I would genuinely love to see someone read these books without knowledge of the show.
Yep.
And kind of see how they feel about it, because I understand they're not like incredible, fantastic, amazing books. I still think they're really good.
I'm enjoying them, and they're easy to read as well. So if you do struggle reading, I'm finding them really easy to read. The chapters are quite small, So yeah. So the only reason I haven't finished it is just because I haven't had time. Like if I had time, a couple of hours set aside to read it, I would have finished it by now. But yeah, I've read a lot more complicated books in the past, and these ones are really easy to read. And for those who are not big readers, they're a nice length. They're not too long, not too short. They're just a nice length.
I think you could probably sit down and read it in about 6 hours. Probably, if you want to.
If you take your time. Yeah, with reading it. Yeah, for sure. The Fairy Tales book's a lot smaller.
Yeah, I read it over like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And like an hour at a time and stuff. Took it really slow.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a few things I had to wiki. I had to go like, let me just go double check that this matches the. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that knowing I could do that.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Very much so. Just to make sure I got like visuals and names connected.
Yeah, and as well as there's new characters, a lot of older characters as well, especially from Volume 3s. It's nice to see read about those characters again too in the books, yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, I highly recommend them. And the Fairy Tales book too is really nice. They're really short stories too, a couple pages long. So, yeah, I really love them that so far.
It's quite interesting. I've only seen like the titles and like little snippets of all of them. But I think there's 13 in total.
Yeah, I think there is, yeah.
I think roughly 10 of them are all referenced somewhere. I think only 3 of them have like never been like are completely brand new.
Yeah.
Like some of them are referenced in the book, some of them are referenced in the show, some of them are referenced elsewhere. Like they're all like just the titles. You go like, wait, that connects to this dot, that connects there.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a lot like the Shallow Sea, of course, is one that's been mentioned in the show. Then we had the 2 brothers and A Story of the Seasons, The Girl in the Tower. So they're all ones that have been mentioned in the show. Yeah. And yeah, the other ones they're all really interesting. I've only read half of them so far, but I'm finding them really good, and also a bit more world building because the ones I've read so far, they're like prior to current events. Like these are old folklore stories. Yeah. So prior to the academies, prior to the war, prior to huntsmen and huntresses, prior to all of that.
They're all told by Osmond. So can we really take them as facts? I don't know. It's Osmond telling them. So
it's definitely it is Osmond telling them in the books. Yeah. So keep that in mind.
That is an old
I haven't read The Girl in the Tower one. I'm interested to see how that's going to be from his point of view.
Back to the teaser.
Yes, the teaser. Yeah, I liked the teaser. It was very short, but it provided us some insight into a few things that are happening. I really liked the bit where you see Yang and a couple of others on the little speedster things. I thought that was really cool. Gave me Star Wars vibes. Love that. I really liked just Ruby's little like telling her the voiceover in this, like, this isn't just Atlas. This is affecting the whole world. And they're really the only ones there who can help stop this. So it's going to be interesting what their actual plan of attack is to stop Salem, of course, destroying Atlas and Mantle. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not just Atlas and Mantle. It's, the whole world.
One of the things I was thinking leading into this volume, and the trailer kind of backed it up, is that Salem, to me, very much seems like the kind of person that she would just sit there and wait. She'd just have this group. Like, again, like, everyone was like, oh, you know, like, from the teasers and stuff, people thought, like, you know, that it didn't make sense or it wasn't lining up with last volume and stuff. But it's like, I never did I think Salem was just going to show up and attack Atlas.
Gosh, no. No.
She's going to sit there and she's going to just be a threat and just bide her time. Well, you know, again, our heroes are going to do what they can, you know, and give Ironwood, like, you know, one more chance. Give me the stuff or I'm going to take
exactly.
bite Atlas like it's a cookie.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. It's definitely more long game. That's what Salem's thing's always been, the long haul, taking a time, little, you know, attacks, mind games.
And just seeing Salem sitting here on a throne like that kind of just reinforced that for me, that she's just going to sit there with an army at her side right in front of the gates and just wait to see what happens.
Yep.
Rather than this all-out attacking. Because again, I wonder if you could argue that, like, you know, they did that in Vale to a degree. They all out attacked, destroyed Vale Beacon, and she couldn't find the relic. She lost the relic that way. Yep. So maybe that's, you know, like, she's not going to destroy Atlas because she did that to Vale and she lost the relic. So maybe that's something in her mindset. I'm now kind of thinking about.
It'd be interesting to see. I guess she also wants to see whether they just bring out the relic, and then that will be her opportunity. Because at the moment it's locked in the vault. So
Yeah. And we don't know how much aware she is of Cinder. We know that she at least survived, so she might have some. She's magical, so she might be able to just know what Cinder's doing all the time. Or whatever.
She had the lamp, so we're thinking at some point there's been a handover. So
I just mean in terms of like the maidens and all that, like like how much does At
least Cinder knows who the new maiden is now as well, so she can provide that information to Salem too. So they know who it is now, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm really excited.
I loved the new team ups for sure.
Yep. And sort of split the group a bit.
Gang for Nora, but I quite like that because, not something that I necessarily agree with but like obviously the criticism of this volume Blake and Yang really only talking to each other and not much interaction with the rest of the team. So I quite like the mix up to kind of do that. You also got the potential, more Blake and Ruby stuff. Got Nora stuff with the rest of the team's also cool, and then you got like Ren and Nora separated, so you kind of see them more away from each other as well. Which
might be a good thing at the moment with how things are between them at the moment.
I think that's definitely what this intentional was doing. Yeah. Okay, let's split up the couples. Let's get Blake and Yang separated. Let's get Ren and Nora separated and kind of just have them more, kind of see how those kind of teams and stuff.
I like the separate groups. I think there's going to be like two parts to their plans, and one group's going to do one thing and one group's going to do another. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
I think like Yang's team is going to evacuate Mantle and try and go back down and kind of keep the place safe.
Yep.
While the other team's going to confront Ironwood again.
Yep. And you see their face off with what looks like the Aesops possibly. So.
I am curious to see, like obviously, Oscar obviously raises a lot of eyebrows in these teasers and stuff we've gotten before. Obviously because he's separated from the group in the last volume, and then when you see the team racing on the speeders, Oscar isn't there. No. And they're chasing after the grid. And we know that Salem is looking for either Oscar or Ruby, if not both.
Yeah.
For different reasons.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. Obviously, they come across the hover bikes and stuff, and they get them.
Yes, I love those. They're so cool.
Definitely cool, and love seeing both Weiss and Blake have updated models.
Yep.
And we obviously knew that Blake was going to get floofier hair, and Weiss's seems to be a bit more streamlined, a bit more minimalistic, which definitely I like quite a bit.
Yeah,
for sure. So it's all good. Again, that's the kind of thing where people asked, they complied, they did it. Simple, nothing major. So I quite like it.
Yeah. And of course, this is all just a little snippet of things to come. We don't have a lot of context either in this, so yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, we will get an actual trailer, full-length trailer, which should give us a little bit more insight into what's going to happen. But won't really know probably till episode 1. Yeah. So we'll be doing a Corner of Remnant to discuss the trailer if it comes out. And then we'll be doing weekly Corner of Remnant podcasts, of course, for the episodes as they come out as well. Which will be on this time as well. Yeah. Yep. And they'll be posted on YouTube as well. So I was posted on YouTube 24 hours later too. Yeah. Full-length trailers, spoilers. I always watch the trailer. I react to it for a couple reasons. Yes, it's spoilers, but it's going to be common knowledge. So if I don't watch the trailer and I try and avoid it and just watch the episodes, I'm likely going to get spoiled anyway for what was in the trailer. So I watch the trailer and do my reaction to it, so you guys get to see my reaction to those events that are in the trailer. Because if I don't, it's very likely I'm going to get spoiled for what was in the trailer. So I may as well just react to it.
I would just like to remind everyone that I'm not a big shipper, but hypocrite, nuts and dolls hug, yes.
Yes.
Again, I'm a hypocrite. I
love nuts and dolts. It's one of my favorite ships. They're adorable. I just love them so much.
They did mention as well on the panel that there will be a lot of hugging this volume.
Yay!
All the hugs. Awesome, wholesome, shippy, whatever.
Yay, we need that this year because we can't hug physically anymore, so let's just have our anime characters hug for us.
And that's another thing too we should mention. Just like a massive thank you to Kirby and all their efforts, this year working from home and still seemingly on track. You know,
Yep.
each volume gets a little bit later, but also that does make sense because you're pushing back. So that all makes sense. And obviously, Volume 7 is the release date, but that is subject to change.
Yep.
Wouldn't be necessary. Not only that, they got obviously RWBY, and they also got Red vs. Blue Zero, which is going to be fully animated this year. So, which is a whole other team, but still, that's a whole other project they've been working on.
Yep.
And stuff, which are going to be coming out basically concurrently, which is insane to think Red vs. Blue and RWBY are going
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Busy times for them.
Yeah, so just crazy effort. Like so many shows are being delayed this year. You know, especially live action stuff.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see like this is the example of we can like take some stuff and
at least with the anime stuff, they can do that whilst working. Well, not necessarily working from home as such, but without having to worry too much about, live action stuff's a bit more difficult to do because you need so many people, and whereas in one room, whereas with animation and stuff, they can do that while social distancing and if necessary working from home. So
yeah, it'll be very interesting to see too what happens with the Aesops and the Happy Huntresses this volume.
Yes.
Because it seems like we're gonna get more Happy Huntresses just from teasers and stuff from voice actresses and other stuff throughout the year. It seems like we are gonna get a bit more from them. Which is interesting. I wasn't too sure. I'm not too fussed either way.
Looks like we saw an image in the tease. Oh, sorry, you go.
And then with the Aesops, obviously we have obviously them dealing with Clover and
exactly.
Probably them getting like upstage by RWBY and stuff. How they're going to react to that?
Yeah, which is what I was about basically say. Yeah, because we see that scene. It looks like they're looking at Clover's body. Yeah,
possibly. Can't say for certain, but it
looks like it. Looks like it. Yep. So they got all that too.
Ironwood's we scanned all kind of bandaged up too, and we see the shot too of the four of them in a background I don't recognize.
Yep.
A darker background. It looks like I wonder if this is maybe in one of the Atlasian ships.
Yep.
Like big ones. Which that's something I would like to hopefully we see more of, is because we saw the whole Atlas fleet. At the start of the volume and stuff, and we have all these Grim attacks and stuff. And Clover granted said that, we can't fire on the Grim because risk of civilian casualties and stuff. They mentioned that.
Yep.
But it'd be cool to see the actual Atlasian fleet kind of actively, do what it's meant to be. Atlas is meant to be the hub of security and stuff. Granted, it was meant to be an attack, not Atlas, but
I hope we get more of Atlas. Because we saw a bit of it during the Cinder Winter and Penny's fight, where they went outside the building, and you can see more of Atlas there from away. We haven't really seen it before. I really like that, so I hope we get to see more of Atlas in that point of view, as well as, of course, on the streets in Atlas, because we had a lot of Mantle, but we didn't have a lot of Atlas, seeing actual Atlas in the streets.
I don't know if Atlas has streets, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if it was like all just
tunnels and things,
all those rings around the city, like train lines.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they all just go from building to building and there's no actual ground level Atlas.
And it could possibly
it's all just like completely.
They shot with Aesops could be in one of those train lines, maybe as well.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Again, one of the things where because of the tension and stuff, I don't know how much of Atlas we're going to get.
Yep.
Just because of the nature of the.
I hope we get more Atlas, just so we can get a chance to see Atlas, rather than because we got a lot of Mantle. So I'd love to see more Atlas, as well as outside the city as well, because we don't know where they're going with those bikes and things too. So,
we should get more of the Tundra.
Yes,
that's a good point.
I think it'd be good to get more of a whole, because before it was mainly just focused like in the Academy and in Mantle, so it'll be nice to get more of a scope with Atlas, the city.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
I definitely wouldn't be against that.
It'd be nice.
And like lastly, the interesting thing is obviously, seemingly that Salem obviously doesn't know how to.
No, that's true. It appears so she doesn't know how to summon Jinn, so that's why she was using the Sniffer Grim to go find people who do know how to summon Jinn.
So I'm just trying to think, what would be like a blind dog from mythology, or like a blind beast or something, because it looked like it was blind.
It did. Yeah, it looked like a creature that would rely more on smell. On smelling. Exactly. That's why I called it a sniffer dog. That's not a canon term, but it's just what I see it as. That's the big thing I noticed. It seemed to be like blind. Well, I mean, most Grim are blind. They just see emotion and stuff. That's how.
Or whatever.
But this one seemed more, smell will be its sort of thing. So yeah, well, if it's able to track down either Oscar or RWBY, probably more Oscar, since Oscar had the lamp more recently. RWBY had it on.
That makes sense.
Because RWBY gave it to Oscar when they got to Atlas. So
I didn't think about that. That makes sense.
So he had it on more recently than RWBY. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. And I don't think we saw Oscar in the teaser. I was trying to remember from when I watched it. I don't think did we see Oscar? You
see them entering Pietro's shop.
Oh right, yeah.
Before you see the other teaser with the lights.
Yeah, because now we know Osmond's back. It's going to be interesting how that goes with everyone too. Whether or not he actually tells them he's back as well. It'll be interesting to see how that goes, because that's the thing. But yeah, I could definitely see the Sniffer Grim tracking down Oscar, and then a confrontation maybe between Oscar, Osmond, and Salem would be really interesting. I definitely could see that happening in the volume for sure.
Yeah, well, we've also speculated for a long time that Salem would eventually kidnap RWBY. That's been like
that as well. Yeah, that's been a thing.
It could be based on nothing, to be fair.
Yeah. Well,
but also we still have Cinder RWBY stuff to do. We still have Neo Cinder stuff to do, which Miles was teased quite heavily. He did a video call with a fan, I think during like one of the meet and greets.
Yeah.
Things. I shared it. It was on Instagram. I shared it around. I don't know how people saw it though. And he was talking about like Roman and Neo and stuff, and like what background they had, and it was kind of like they don't really know what their kind of background was. That wasn't really ever fleshed out. Themselves. And they mentioned how like Neo and RWBY still got like that's still a big.
That's still a thing. Yes.
I always like little confirmations from that, because there's so many kind of seeds planted in the show that don't always get.
They don't always get around to. Like, we never got to see what the gift was that was brought back at the train station in Volume 6.
Yeah, so there's a lot of seeds and all that kind of stuff that's always planted, but like my theory has always been that Salem keeps RWBY alive because it's the only thing that motivates Cinder. It's the only thing that keeps Cinder in line. It's the carrot on the end of the stick for Cinder. If she gets them, then Cinder's got nothing. Then Salem's got nothing on Cinder.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cinder's probably the only person that could match Salem for power. Even though I know we see Cinder get beat. I know that probably seems weird because we see Cinder get beaten a lot. But I think going all out and with her power and a real intent, I think Cinder has that potential to be that dangerous.
Yes.
Even if we haven't seen it. So. Yeah, I'm really interested to see where this happens. We're also got Tyrion. We're going to get a Tyrion and RWBY thing at any point, because of the tale. I'm so glad we got the Tyrion Crow stuff. To be fair, last volume, but again, so much stuff, super long volume. Probably going to be mostly just. It's really interesting to see what they're going to do, because I'm trying to think now. Can it really just be 14 episodes of Atlas getting attacked or assaulted?
Well, I think I can't remember where it was mentioned, but it was discussed that this is going to be over a period of like a day or a couple of days, day or two. Very much like how the last half of Volume 3 was over a couple of days, and Volume 6 as well.
Most of Volume 3 was like barely a week.
Yeah, it was a very short period. So I think this is also going to be that, where it's going to happen over the couple of days after the end of Volume 7. Yeah, basically, it'll be following straight on from Volume 7, I'd say.
I'm just, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Could they really stretch you out?
We don't know what's going to happen.
Siege of Atlas, 14 episodes, or is it going to be something else? Or again, we have that more wiggle room if Salem just kind of like doesn't attack immediately and just kind of like.
Well, that's true.
And stuff. But considering these teasers and stuff, like Oscar possibly getting kidnapped, that would have to happen in the first few episodes, because this teaser could only be the first episode for all we know. Maybe at the most up to 4 episodes at the most. But even then, that seems like something much earlier in the volume. So I really don't know.
Don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. But I think that's about it for today. Unless there's anything else you wanted to add, I think we've discussed everything. I think.
No. Yeah, I think I'm all good. I will say apologies if there's low energy or just like a bit more mumbling and stuff. This stream, get into a better swing of things hopefully next time.
Yes, we'll be back because the last stream we had was discussing the soundtrack when that came out. So, yeah,
plan is to be back in 2 weeks, hopefully, to discuss the
books,
the 2 books, and then 2 weeks after that we'll probably have the trailer or
possibly, or at least hype for the chapter.
I think that'll be the week before the premiere.
I think it is. I'm just going to open the calendar here.
That'll be the few days before.
Yeah, it'll be the week before the first episode drops.
Yeah.
Which will work well because then we'll be discussing the first episode 2 weeks after that. And then getting into weekly episodes. So yeah. Yes. Unless of course if the trailer ends up dropping during the first week before the first episode, we'll do a Corner of Remnant then on the episode day. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, we'll let you all know. Of course, we've got on our Twitters as well. Follow my Twitter. I'll be posting on there when we'll be doing the Corner of Remnant. But yeah, likely 2 weeks from today for the books, and then either 2 or 3 weeks for the trailer, depending when and if it drops. If not, it'll be the first episode. Yeah.
I'm personally going on no trailer. I think this teaser will be it, personally.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility.
Hope I'm wrong.
Because I want more stuff. But
you say that, but then you also, as a reactor, don't want to be spoiled and stuff. So if you don't get
that is true.
Pressure into the.
That's why I react to the trailer.
I'm just really not sure how much more there. Like, while that was short, there's still enough in there to be like, well, how much more are we really going to get?
That's true. We'll see what happens for sure.
Few episodes, unless there is something insane we just don't know yet.
Yeah, well, don't know. Find out. I'm assuming they're going to do the same thing they did previously with the first membership. So the episode will be out just for first members for the first week, and then it'll be watchable for the public on the Rooster Teeth website after then. So with the Corner of Remnant stream, so we always do the Corner of Remnant on the Saturday for us, which is the day before the new episode will drop. But of course, if you're not a first member and you still want to watch the streams, you'll just have to watch it. It's on YouTube. Yep. So it'll be on YouTube 24 hours after stream. So then you'll be able to then watch us discussing the episode that's that was already out without too much spoilers, if that makes sense. Time zones confusing.
Place.
Yes, and my reactions will be going up when the episodes are public as well. So yeah, I want to get back into the swing of doing that every week.
Oh god, After my year of inconsistent art, to think 3 uploads a week by the time the season comes out.
It's busy times, and of course doing my Twitch streams as well. So yeah, I do stream 5 days a week doing video games on Twitch too. So if you want to check that out, you're definitely welcome to. And yeah, but I won't be discussing much RWBY related stuff during those streams, of course. They're more video game focused. We still occasionally bring up RWBY, of course, because we're all RWBY fans. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's about it for me. Of course, make sure you're following Dawn as well. Our social links are on the overlay as well as in the description of the YouTube video. Dawn will be posting art, so make sure. Yes.
Typically Mondays and Thursdays of a morning.
Yeah.
It's typically when I like to do. I very much like to keep my art as a YouTube schedule almost. So I have tons of pieces in the backlog just waiting to post as always. Like I tend to post whips, but like works in progresses. But then you don't see the actual artwork from that till months later.
Yeah.
Whereas most artists obviously do work in progress, post the artwork second they finish it. But
yeah,
I like to more keep a schedule to it all and stuff personally. So you can always expect that Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Australian time, most Eastern time.
Just be wary.
I don't know if it's day late or not.
Possible spoilers.
Yeah, especially during the RWBY volume. Yes, that will be for sure. Definitely.
Just keep that in mind if you're not a first member. Yeah.
One other thing I was going to mention. I'll probably go more into it once we're done with the stream. They did. I forgot what panel it was. I think it was just the RT animation panel or something. I don't know why I watched that, but I didn't watch the RWBY panel. I don't know why I'm dumb. But I did watch the panel, and they mentioned a lot of things. They mentioned a lot of things like Camp, No Matter Nowhere.
Oh yes.
The RWBY Fairy Tale show.
Oh yeah, the Fairy Tale show. Yes.
They mentioned that with Camp and Nomad, it's just a matter of they're just waiting for financial backing, basically.
Okay. Yep.
Because Rooster Teeth have been moving towards more of production company.
Yep.
To work with places like HBO Max, like Netflix, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Putting their shows on other services rather than Rooster Teeth stuff. Like with Genlock on HBO Max or Transformers, which they did, which are on Netflix earlier this year. So for Camp and Nomad, it's just a matter of if someone backs them, they'll make it.
Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Money is very hard at the moment, and funding.
I think, and RWBY Fairy Tales was mostly the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're just waiting for some financial backing before they.
I definitely see that going through.
Put the money towards it. So.
Yeah, being RWBY related. Just hopefully Camp and Nomad as well. I love Nomad. The reactions to Nomad, I loved it.
They had mentioned a few weeks back that they brought in. Kirsty, I can never remember her name. I'm so mad. I can never remember her name. The female lead writer for RWBY.
Yes.
That they brought her in to do Nomad season 2, and she did do like Nomad season 2 is written. It's done.
All right. Oh, nice.
They just don't have the money to make it at the moment. And that's when they thought, oh, we like her. We should bring her in to do RWBY.
Yeah.
Because her and Eddie were long friends.
Yes.
Previously. So that's how that whole thing happened.
X-Ray and Vav. Yes. Never watched it, but I remember seeing
for 5 years. So
yeah, but I remember when I was watching RWBY for the first time on YouTube and seeing the ads for X-Ray and Vav, I'm like, oh my god, what is this?
There are plenty of shows like Jeremy tried to get, because Jeremy from Achievement Hunter is an author of the Go Nitro series. And he even admitted once that he went to Rooster Teeth Animation to try to get that made into a show instead of him writing the book. So definitely a lot of, and Achievement Hunter is like the biggest thing on Rooster Teeth right now by far. Yeah. So they're getting they got grudge, like Rooster Teeth have so many Achievement Hunter have been given like the golden plaque.
Yes.
Rooster Teeth now they get so much money and stuff because they're popular and again,
which is good.
Spend,
money
and all that stuff. I mean that should all be good, and that should hopefully that's all how it goes. I have words, not today.
I think we should wrap up.
100%.
Yes, all hail the great one. And Waifu.
Yeah, somewhere, yeah.
Hey.
See, I already have a Wife figure. I don't need to buy another Wife figure.
Yes, you do.
I don't have a RWBY figure, so I need a RWBY figure. That's the.
I've got too many of them. Yeah. Yes, we'll see you all next stream, which will likely be discussing the books. So we'll see you then. And then, yeah, volume 8. Woo! Yeah. Yay! I don't have my Before the Dawn book here. It's in my work backpack, but I got my Fairy Tales book. Yeah. I'm looking forward to finishing reading this.
If you're watching live or watching, the posts. God, YouTube
video. Make sure you comment below, of course, on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to post your your questions in the comments. We do read them. And yeah, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you guys all next one. Thank you all for watching. Catch you later.